I say the decisions that you make it with how will this affect the people that we're implementing this into. Maybe that's a system. You're implementing a new system. How is this going to affect our team members? Like, what do we need to prepare them for?
Welcome back to Torch Talk, the show where we spotlight bold leaders, growing businesses, and communities with grit and purpose. Today's guest is Misty Fraelich-Clark, a human resources leader and workplace culture advocate. In this Torch Talk episode, we'll explore the Blaze Business Expo presentation and talk about how effective HR strategy, employee engagement, and people-first leadership help organizations build strong, compliant, and thriving workplaces. Welcome to Torch Talk, Misty.
Thank you, Lindsey. How are you? I'm great. It's been like 4 days so far.
It's the end of the day. What's better way to wrap it up than come spend a little bit of time together chatting HR?
I love it.
You do
I can geek out.
Do you feel like people might cringe a little bit when the word HR is said?
I do.
Why is there such a bad connotation that comes with HR?
Well, I think it's years of too much structure and not putting people into that and not letting people express themselves and be human. And then I always try to bring the human aspect back into human resources, right? And why is there human?
You do a great job of that too. We love to just anytime we run into you, you're so warm, welcoming, and I think you probably, especially based off of experience, you do a great job at your job.
Yeah, I try my best. You'll try to get it right, but there's always room for error. But we learn from those mistakes and we try to get better every day.
So let's talk a little bit about what are some common HR challenges that you see, like in your business or just inside your field right now? Like what's happening right now that business owners should be aware of?
I find we are blessed that we have some great talent coming into our organization, but yet it is a challenge. Talent acquisition is a huge thing right now. I know many businesses struggle with trying to find individuals that will, be willing to come into their organization. There is a lot of more, I don't want to say demand, but people want more structure in their life. They want that 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. If there's not that, it's harder to hire people, and some manufacturing organizations are finding struggle with that. One thing is also finding people that are willing to learn and continuing to develop in areas. So I think talent acquisition is one of those things that we, as a human resource field, have struggled with bringing on top talent.
So what are some of the ways to handle that challenge? Like what are some of the best practices that people can put into place?
Yeah, I would say look at your organization. What can you sort of sacrifice and offer to people coming in? Look at your benefits package. Are you competitive with your benefits? Are you appealing to individuals that are wanting to come into the workforce? Are they quitting a job? What are you going to offer them to make their life better as a whole? I say we look at humans as a whole being. Are you offering them a great culture, a great work environment where they're supported? I'm a big firm believer as a Christian that we need Christ first, and love people well and bring that joy into the atmosphere and support them as much as we can. Life's rough. And if they know that if they fall on a hard time, that we can support them as best as we can. So just taking a look at what you have to offer as an organization and start building out those simple, small little things. Recognition. What are you doing from a recognition perspective? What are you doing from a people development perspective? Leadership development. That's a huge thing right now. Like we want to make sure that we're equipping our leaders and having them have the tools to best support people moving forward. So I think those things would help with the talent acquisition piece where people are struggling. What are you marketing from a marketing perspective? What does people say about your organization? So making sure that you're doing internally what you're saying that you're doing externally. So that's something that we always want to be is aligned with, from a character perspective in our organizations too.
And I mean, from a marketing perspective, I know having good brand presence does help you because people are like, oh, yeah, I know who they are. I want to work there. At least open the door. And it can be hard. Like, I mean, I've had to hire a lot of people. So I understand it's hard out there to catch attention with all the prospective employees. And you spend a lot of time and energy trying to get them in. Then we keep them. So that's the longer part of HR. So one going back to benefits really quickly though. When you say benefits, I think insurance, 401k. Are there any like non-traditional benefits that you see that employers can offer? Maybe you can't offer a retirement package, but you might be able to offer these other types of things.
Yeah, I would say we do unique things like a cares program, making sure that if a team member falls on hard times or something going on, we have a cares committee and we offer a benefit of supporting them through a difficult time. I would say flexibility. Remote work policies are now in place. There's some flexibility with that if that's an option for your organization, looking at those, but also having guidelines, making sure that the performance is there and all of those things. But that's just small little changes that can be made and looked at. Maybe flexing some hours. Does your business need to be open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5? Are there some different things that you could do? So those are some of the things that I think are benefits that are outside of the traditional insurance, 401k. Those are huge, but those small little benefits matter when you're looking at raising a family and bringing on team members.
Okay, so you've discussed employee acquisition as a core challenge right now for business owners. What other challenges do you see on the HR landscape?
You mentioned it earlier, retention, keeping team members engaged. You want to continue to pour into them and let them know that there's a future here for you. We value as team members, trying to find different ways again to recognize team members for their good work, um, giving them opportunity to grow and develop if that's what they wish to do. Looking at ways that they can do that, sending them to one of the things we like is Leadership Holmes County. That's a great organization. We also have a lead program internally that we pick out future leaders that we feel like they have some characteristics that we're looking for in leaders. And we have a monthly meeting with them and we grow and develop them. And we bring on consultants to do some of the training as well with them. So it's ways that we can just uh, try to say, we want you here, we appreciate you, we value you, we want to continue to pour it into you. Um, that's some of the ways that
Do you have to apply to be a part of the lead program? Is that like a manager nomination? How you get into that?
it's a nomination.
Okay.
Managers, I go to our manager team and say, hey, who on your team do you feel has some characteristics that would be a great alignment for our next stage of leadership? As we grow, leaders develop as well, and we got to be prepared and have them equipped to take on those leadership roles.
Okay, so we didn't really cover this at the beginning, but you work for Hummel Insurance. So how many employees do you guys have?
We have 200.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Goodness. And how long have you been there?
It'll be 7 years this year. It goes quickly.
Wow. Yes. So you've been in HR for a very long time.
Yes.
And you've helped do different types of sizes of organizations.
Yeah. I've been started out just assisting in HR, filing, putting things away for the HR manager, just taking phone calls and different things. And then I transpired into an HR manager role. And yeah, it's been great learning all the different aspects of HR, from payroll to workman's comp to performance management, talent acquisition, all the things in between. It just is a lot to learn, but also it's so rewarding. I love the every aspect of HR and what it brings.
And you like to say you put the human back in HR. You had mentioned that earlier. Um, Other than some of the things you've mentioned as far as acquisition, what are the ways that you can bring that back and make sure that, like, you know, I, I know we don't have an HR department. A lot of our clients are small enough that they just don't. So maybe they're outsourcing payroll to somebody else, or they have support there, but they don't necessarily have rules. So talk to somebody listening to this who might say, well, what does that mean? How do I bring people back in? from an HR perspective?
Yeah, I say the decisions that you make it with how will this affect the people that we're implementing this into. Maybe that's a system. You're implementing a new system. How is this going to affect our team members? Like, what do we need to prepare them for? Like I say, with every stage and every decision that's made in an organization, you have to understand how it's going to affect the team members when you're implementing it or rolling out a policy. How are they going to perceive it? Anything that we need to be prepared for as we roll these things out. And that's bringing the human element back into it, not just because somebody wants to make a change internally and that's what we're going to do, but also thinking about, okay, does this change bring? What does this change bring to the team members that are working in these areas? And that's sort of caring and compassionate. And when you show you care, there's trust built there. And when there's trust built there, systems go very well, I feel.
Okay, so I, like I had mentioned, I have hired a lot of people here. I mean, not a lot. We got 20 people on the team, but I've done a lot of interviews. I know hiring and talent acquisition is something that a lot of organizations struggle with. Any tips? Any pro tips? Like, where is the best place to go? How do you attract people? Like, how do I get people to know and then get them so we can, filter them through? A lot of people struggle with Indeed. Yeah, I like scared to say the word too loud, but like, I mean, people just, it's like, it feels kind of like Walmart, like you don't want to use it, but you feel like you have no other choice. So what are our options out here, or how you use that as the best tool?
Yes, we're trying to get it right too. Like it's difficult, but I feel like building relationships with your local high schools, your guidance counselors, trying to get involved in just local events, um, knowing so people know your brand, they understand who you are and what you do internally, and then the interest spiked from that. Also, colleges, we are trying to get involved in the college fairs, going out and meeting with um, a lot of colleges now. They are looking for internships.
There's a lot of colleges really close to us. Yeah, it wasn't a 1 hour drive up here. Um, do you have any specific ones that
Yeah,
you have partnerships with?
I've recently worked with Malone over the last couple years. Ashland University. We've also looked at Akron University as well, just to partner with them. They have a risk management program. That's what we do, and so we're just trying to build those relationships. And as career fairs come up, being present. And then also being a resource to them as well, because I know Malone has put some curriculum in place, but they want internship as part of a graduation credit. So we want to support that, and we also want great team members flowing into us as well. So I would say, yeah, high schools, colleges, LinkedIn. So we have done ads and different things on LinkedIn. We do have an ATS system, which is an applicant tracking system, inside of our HRIS, which is our human resource information system. And that goes out to Indeed. That's just the standard with the program. So those flow out to Indeed, but we also market on our website. Make sure your website's up to date. Your website is a display of who you are and what you do. I want that alignment. I want people to know what they are getting. One of my sayings in interviews is, I want to get to know you and I want you to get to know us. I don't like surprises, and I'm sure you don't like surprises. So, and during our interview process, it's a lengthy one. We take time with interviewing. We find that very important because we want to be clear, and we want to be clear on who they are and what they are expecting. And
Tell us what that looks like. I'm curious. What is your interview process?
yeah, so we start out, we get applicants in. We get a lot of internal referrals, which we appreciate as well. We have a referral bonus for our team members to refer team members into the organization, refer candidates, I should say, into the organization. And we start off with just a simple either phone interview or a video interview. We share who we are, what we're looking for, and we also capture that information from the applicant. we feel like if there is a common ground there, we will move on and we'll do an in-person interview with our manager and a member of our HR team. And then from there, we do have a third interview that's in person as well, usually with a member of our exec operations team, some the manager once again, and then a member of the HR team if that's possible, and then the applicant. So we go through those one by one, and we find that it's important because you learn something more every time you meet an individual. So I think that that's clarity for them that we are serious about bringing them on. And that's also clarity for us that there has been sort of a consistency in what we're seeing and what we're hearing, and what they're expecting from us as well.
So how long does that usually take on average from start to finish?
Well, it varies, but it could take, I would say 2, maybe 3 weeks, depending on the individual and the timing and who's available. But we try to be all available to make sure we're working through the process rather quickly, so we're not holding them up as well.
Do you ever wish you could just get a hold of everybody submitting an application and say, listen, I know you have a resume, class. You need to make sure it looks nice.
Yes.
Please don't use the Indeed
No.
resume.
No, I would have to say, I will be honest, when you see those, it is not appealing from an HR perspective. Like, I'm like, if they can't take the time to put together a Word document,
Hello, Canva is very easy. Yes. Everybody can use Canva.
yeah,
There's templates.
yeah,
I'm actually surprised sometimes by people who apply for a marketing job. We're on a marketing company. Like, this is what we do. Everybody knows it.
yeah.
Sometimes we'll have marketing professionals use the Indeed resume. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I'll have somebody apply who has absolutely zero experience in the field, but because they have used Canva to make something that stands out visually,
Yeah.
I think what applicants don't understand is we might get 150 applications for a job, and you really do have to make yourself stand out. Like, those visual tools that you have available to you are super invaluable. So I cannot, I'm always like, why?
Yeah.
What do you not understand? And colleges, please teach people this if you're not. They're supposed to be.
Yes. I mean, Lindsay, in the early 2000s, they taught us that.
I know. I'm like, I know they're teaching people this.
You have to. But yes, I mean, I think it's very respectful of a person's time when you're applying, to even have a nice cover letter, sharing a little bit about yourself and what you're looking for, and then a nice resume. And then, too, I mean, from a compliance perspective, we have them complete the application. And, we're looking for consistencies with that as well. And just, we want transparency, and we want to know, who we're getting, and we want to provide the best workplace for them as well.
Okay, well, we had our moment. Yeah. Of just saying, hey, people, yeah, buck up here. Okay, so we've talked about a lot. We've talked about employee acquisition. We've talked about employee retention, a little bit about benefits and what employers should be offering. Are there any other key things that you feel like, people are just missing the mark right now when it comes to HR and workplace policies and things like that? And
I have this theory that we need to treat people as whole beings. So that's, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially. Our job as leaders is to provide the best advice and education to our team members as possible. And I try to look at that as what can we be doing more from each of these perspectives. And one of the things is, we implemented a wellness program. And I know some people roll their eyes at that, but there's nothing that says that we care for you is that you care for yourself. Taking time for yourself, getting your annual physical, getting your blood work, because we all don't do it unless we are like, please, there's an incentive to it. So we put in an incentive program to do that. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, making sure you're looking into your well-being, taking time out. We have a community service day, spending time with your community, loving on where we're having our offices out in the community. So those are a couple of different pieces that I think of. Offering financial wellness, educating your team members on the best ways to save, the best ways to look at retirement, because all of those things have compounding interest into the future that they can even look back if they're not with you in 10 years from now. But they can look back and say, I am so glad that that leader took time to share with me some of these good pillars that have got me to be more aware of my health, be more aware of my financial being. So just those pieces that we can do just as an educator. I feel like as a leader, we have the opportunity to educate. And now that we've been through life a little bit, saying, hey, I wish I would have known this when I was starting out. Even if you don't, have all these, I guess, options, you can also bring in people to educate your team members. I know our team at Hummel Group appreciates going out, and we have a 401 places, giving some financial wellness education to employers and their teams, and to our benefits team, rolling out like life insurance and different things, why it's valuable, why you need it. Those pieces are perfect so that they're aware of things that are out there, that they can get involved in, but also being educators, I guess.
Well, no, there's some great resources out there available for you, like partners. So if you have an insurance agent, then might be willing to come in and help you educate your team on those things. It's not necessarily something you have to be an expert in, but that is an area where you can help bring that whole being into perspective, like what you're saying. So how can I help my my employee take care of their physical well-being, mental well-being, emotional, all of those types of things. So I love that. I love that viewpoint from your perspective. So
Yeah. And you talk about, we have an employee assistance program, offering, counseling sessions to our team members, putting that place and helping, just anything that we can do to help and set some great pillars for them to grow. We employ to grow. That's what we want to see people is being at their best.
any ways for smaller companies to like begin those types of programs, and where do you choose to invest first, and how do I even do that? You have 200 people, I have 20 people. There's a really big difference.
I say start small, be simple, just showing you care, writing notes to your team members and showing appreciation, sending a text and just say, hey, just want to let you know you did well today. Those small little things compound and add up, and people, when they know you care, it's just priceless. So and that helps with retention too, knowing that you're appreciated. Who doesn't like words of affirmation, knowing that they're doing well, just knowing that you're pouring into people, and recognizing at team meetings, and having maybe small awards that you do, having team outings, saying we're going to just cut out at the end of the day, and we're going to go enjoy one another and connect outside of the work environment. Though start small, and it does build from there, because we didn't have a lot of these things in place, and fortunately some of them were before I came, but just looking at it, what can we do, and just add to it, and those small things become
Small gestures. Yeah, that's a good place to start. Less expensive.
yes.
And then you can build towards the bigger picture.
Yes, because as you grow, then there's opportunity to
Expand your team. Thank you so much for joining me today, Misty. If somebody wanted to learn more about Hummel, or maybe see if you have any job openings, where would they go find all that information?
Yeah, all of our job openings, we are preparing for growth. So we do have job openings out on our website. Go out to Hummel Group careers page, and they're all on there with our job descriptions. And if you want to learn more about what we do at Hummel, our website's a great place to start. But I'm always a resource as well. I can tell you all that we do. And we have a great team, and I'm blessed to be there.
Thank you so much again. I really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning into Torch Talk. If today's story inspired something in you, please share it with a colleague, future change maker, or just a friend. Until next time, stay inspired, stay intentional, and keep your fire burning.